Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to another Glacial Geek Kill Team Battle Report. I am Phil, the Glacial Geek, coming to you here from Casa de Neil, where I'm about to fight a kill team battle between my Navy Breachers and the Kroot. A little bit of a different start here. As you can see, there is no terrain. It does not mean that we are not going to play with terrain, but the reason we have no terrain is because we are trying out something very cool today. Thank you, GW, for sending over the new Critical Ops Focus. Focus, you could do this. Come on, focus on this. Focus. No? Don't want to focus? There we go. Critical Ops, TAC Ops, and Mission card pack. And essentially what this does is it does two things. One, it has brand new TAC Ops, so it's the secondaries that you're going to be playing when you're playing with a kill team. They have new ones that have been changed to provide different balance and just give you a different sense and different play, which is pretty fun, getting to use some different secondaries that you're working on there. It also comes with a couple of different other things. So one, it comes with, as you can see over here, they give you the gameplay sequence. They've got you some, the gameplay sequence explained a little bit more in like a little pamphlet here. So like this is like a little, opens up into like a little, easy for me to say, pamphlet that just kind of goes over the same things that you'll find in the main book there. But it's in a convenient carryable way. They've got the different scouting phase things that you can do here, and they tell you which ones they beat and which ones they lose to. They also have match play map key card key, because that goes to the other cards that we have here. So the middle ones here, these are going to be the new TAC Ops that you can play with. Then we have over here is the mission, and this is the board layout. So it's got a way, almost like the open play deck that you have, or like, you know, like the Tempest of War deck, where you can figure out what's going on with this by just completely random. So as opposed to trying to choose a mission or roll for it, you just have this deck of cards that you can just shuffle up, and then you choose your mission like this. So we are going to be playing the battleground layout there, and it shows you where to place all of the objectives on the table there. It shows you where your drop zones are going to be. It shows you where your territory is. It even lays out where your battlefield edges are, color-coded key that they have going on there, which is kind of interesting. And then once you have your layout, you take from this other deck here, and you show which kind of mission you're going to play. So we're going to do a capture mission. So at the end of each turning point, before determining victory points, each objective marker friendly operatives control is captured by your kill team. While an objective marker is captured by your kill team, it stays under their control, even if no friendly operatives are within circle of it. If any enemy operatives control that objective marker following the normal rules for controlling objective markers, it is no longer captured by your kill team. At the end of each turning point, for each objective marker captured by your kill team, you score 1 VP. So now, you can just sit down, you take out this deck of cards, shuffle them up, pull them up. You've got layout for objectives with your deployment zones. You now have missions that you can try to do, that you've got to do. You don't have to worry about looking through the books there. They're just on the cards. Easy to carry deck that you just pop out there and you have it ready to go. So pretty fun there, and an interesting way to do it, especially if you've played a lot of the missions over and over and over again. This gives you a way to shake it up, because you can, I think it's 3 different missions that they have going on there, and then you've got a whole bunch of different layouts for objectives that they have going on. So it's interesting to see how it all goes, but we will come back to you with the story and everything else after that, once we have laid out the terrain. So we have set up the terrain now. As you can see, we have chosen our TAC Ops and we actually deployed. But before we go any further, let's talk about the story that we've got going on here. Essentially, this planet was being used by the Navy to resupply their ships in the sector. And on this planet, they had a bunch of supplies that they were using to do so. And a Kroot warband found themselves on this planet, raiding the facilities and taking the supplies that were being used to resupply the Navy ships. So they sent down a group of Navy armsmen, the Breacher squads, and told them to go down and take out this Kroot menace before it became too much of a problem, and they lost too many supplies and too many personnel. So that's the story. You already saw us choose the mission. So before we go any further, though, let's show you the two kill teams, rather, that are going to be fighting it out today. So for the Imperial Navy Breacher kill team, from left to right, we have the Sergeant at Arms, we have an Armsman, we have an Axejack, we have a Cat Unit, an Endurant, we have a Geist Skull, we have a Grenadier, we have 2 Gunners, we have a Hatch Cutter, a Surveyor, and a Void Jammer. And for the Farstalker Kinband kill team, from left to right, we have the Kill Broker, we have a Bow Hunter, we have a Cold Blood, we have a Cut Skin, we have a Heavy Gunner, we've got a Kroot Hound, we have a Long Sight, we have a Pistolier, a Stalker, a Tracker, and a Warrior. All right, so going over deployment now, from the left to right here, I've got my Gunner with a Melt-A-Gun. We've got my Hatch Cutter. We have a Gunner with the Volley Las. We have a Grenadier right there, slightly behind him. We've got my Sergeant at Arms next to him, an Axeman right next to him there. We've got the Geist Skull and the Cat unit right here in the open. We've got the Endurant up in the front there. We've got the Void Jammer back over here. We've got the Scanner back over here. And we've got a regular Armsman over on my right flank on this side. Going over deployment for the Kroot. We've got his Cold One over on the right here. We've got the Tracker over here with his bird. We've got the Bow Hunter there. The Heavy Gunner right next to him. We've got the Pistolier next to him. We've got the Hound. Then we have the Cut Skin. We've got the Long Sight, we've got the Kill Broker, we've got a regular Kroot Warrior, and then we have the, what was the last one? I already said Cut Skin. Oh man, I'll get back to you in a sec with him. Anyway, that is the deployment that we've got going on here. Before we go any further, we now are going to go into the scouting phase. It's kind of fun. They actually have cards in here telling you what each of the different options in the scouting phase do, and kind of the order that they go with the rock, paper, scissors to choose first initiative. So essentially, you have the three options. You've got Fortify, you've got Recon, and you've got Infiltrate. So Fortify means you get to place an additional barricade. You have Fortify, Infiltrate, which allows you to change one of your operatives' engagement tokens, the first turning point. And you have Recon, which allows you to take a free dash. Move with at the beginning of the first turning point. And it also works like rock, paper, scissors to choose who goes first. So Fortify beats Infiltrate, Infiltrate beats Recon, Recon beats Fortify. And if we both happen to choose the same one, then the attacker, who happens to be me this turn, this game, will have the initiative going into there. So we are now going to choose our options, 1, 2, or 3. I chose 3, my opponent chose 3, so we will both be taking our Recon, and I will have the first, the initiative here for the first turning point. So we'll come back to you with that first turning point. So into the strategy step of the first turning point here, we both gained our CP, so we both were up to 3 CP. My opponent then spent 1 CP on Bound, which allows all of his operatives to ignore the first circle when climbing or traversing obstacles and stuff like that. So basically they can just leap over the barricades and stuff like that, the lower things, without having to take the penalty of going up and over. So they can just kind of like, instead of the minus to their movement, they just get to go over it, which is pretty cool. For 1 CP for that. Yeah, parkour. We then had revealing our TAC ops here. So I first revealed mine here, which is assassinate target. So essentially what it is I reveal this at the first turning point. My opponent selects an operative of theirs. I score 2 VP if they are incapacitated, and if at the end of the battle, if they are not incapacitated but have lost more than at least half of their wounds, then I will score 1 VP for that. My opponent has revealed Recon, or for one of his Recon ones, he's chosen Outflank. Essentially what happens is, at the end of any turning point, if friendly operatives control both neutral kill zone edges, you score 1 VP. And if you achieve this in any subsequent turning points, you score 1 VP. You control a neutral zone edge by the amount of APL that your team has within blue of the neutral zone edges. So the neutral zone edges are going to be the long ones in this case, because we have our drop zones are on the short sides here. But operatives that are within red of their drop zone do not count towards that APL total. So they have to be outside of red of their drop zone in order to count towards it. So that is what we have here. So we are now going to move on to the firefight step. All right, so for the first activation here, at the beginning here, I chose my Hatch Cutter. I also chose Breach and Clear, which is essentially I choose 2 operatives within blue of each other. So I chose my Hatch Cutter and I chose my Gunner with the Volley Gun. and essentially they become GA2 and activate once after each other. You can do it once per turning point to your operatives in here, which is pretty fun. So I then took my hatch cutter, and I had used my recon to dash him up against the wall here. I used, the first thing was to breach here, so I basically cut a hole in the wall here at that point there, and then he moved through to take the objective and hide behind these barrels on this side. So now we can use it because we're not into the dark rules, so we're not with the inside stuff, so they can actually do what he's supposed to do to breach it. So that will be my first activation there. And then with the breach and clear, I activated my gunner with the volley gun here. I dashed him through the hatch that the hatch cutter created, and now he is going to fire into the stalker over there, which was the name of the model, that the operative that I couldn't remember. So he's going to fire. I'm going to fire all of them, even though I have fusillade with the Navis Las volley. I'm just going to fire him over there. So I got 6 shots looking for 4s. It does have relentless, so I can re-roll everything. Which is good because I only got the 1 hit so far. So I'm going to re-roll everything. Getting a bunch more hits, which is great. So it's going to be a crit and 3 regular hits. My opponent is not in cover over there, so he's going to have looking for 5s here. Not getting anything. So that will be doing 13 damage. So he will be dead. Oh, 1 second. All right, so then my opponent's operative is incapacitated, but my opponent then spent 1 CP on Vengeance for the Kinband. Essentially now all of his operatives will get to reroll any and all attacks against my gunner with the Las volley over here. So he's probably in for a little bit of a shocking development as these things continue on over here. So pretty good. So my opponent's now going to activate his Kroot Warrior, who is going to move and then shoot into my gunner over here. So he's going to have 4 shots here. Looking for 4s, but can reroll everything because of Vengeance for the Kinband. So reroll all those for Vengeance for the Kinband. Okay, not meant to be this time. I do have 3 dice here, looking for 4 pluses to save. Getting a built base, so he's good to go. Woo! So I activated my armsman over here. He's going to move into position behind the barricade onto the objective there, and then he is going to fire into his cold blood. It's really bad, the shotgun at long range. It is going to be 4 shots looking for 5s, doing 1-2 damage. Getting 1 regular hit, but my opponent is in cover, and he has the rogue ability, which means he could actually, if I had gotten 1 extra hit, he still would have been able to, because they can retain 2 regular hits for cover, or 1 critical save if they want to from cover, which is pretty nice, but he's just got that one there, and he is good to go. All right, my opponent's activated his kill broker, who's going to be his leader. He actually chose him as the target, as the assassinate target, because he feels like he's going to be working with him. It should be what he wants to do. So he's chosen him as the assassinate target. But he has moved up into position over here, and now he is going to fire into my gunner again over on this side. So he's going to have, what is it?
4 4s.
All right, let's do it over here. Yeah. So he's going to have 4 shots looking for 4s, rerolling everything against this guy, though.
I hate you.
Wow. Okay.
Nope, I don't.
The rerolls have not been good to you, but everything else has been. So, all right, so I'm going to have 3 dice here, looking for 4s again. Getting a crit and a regular, so I'll ignore 1 crit and the regular. What's the damage on your on the 1 crit?
4.
4, so he takes 4 damage. All right, so now my Endurant has activated. He's going to move up into position behind the barricade over here, and then he is going to take shots down there on his cut skin. I'm going to have 4 shots here looking for 5s, but his shotgun has relentless, which is pretty nice because I guess he's balanced it on the shield over there. So looking for 5s. Wow, okay, not bad. I'll take that, and then re-rolling because of relentless. Nope, not meant to be. So it's going to be 3 hits. You do have your regular saves here. He's not in cover.
Nope, cannot rogue.
No, nothing there. But that doesn't matter. I wouldn't worry about it too much. That's going to be 3 damage.
That's it? 3?
It's just 3 damage, so he's definitely still alive there. My opponent moved and dashed his cut skin up into cover over there. My cat unit's going to move into position over here. Kroot Hound moved and dashed into position over here onto the objective. My Axe Jack moved and dashed underneath the pillars over here. All right, so now his Cold Blood here has moved into position on the objective. Now he's going to fire into my armsman over on this side. So what are you going to have on them? He's going to have... 1 second. All right, so because the Cold Blood is well stocked, he means he has access to a couple of the special equipment without having to cost, and can use it twice instead of once because they're limited. So he's going to use his piercing shot to shoot into my armsman over here. So it's going to be turns his rifle into AP1, which is pretty cool. So he's going to have 4 shots here, hitting on 4s. Okay, that's going to be 1 hit. but I'm going to take the 1 save from cover, and he'll be good to go. All right, so now my Navis Surveyor is going to activate. He's going to do surveillance, which means that I place a surveillance token within a red of one of my cat units. Now, if enemy units are within blue of that surveillance unit, or that surveillance token, and within and are visible to my cat unit, they treat enemy units or friendly units that shoot them, treat them as having engaged tokens instead of concealed tokens, which is pretty good. All right, so now his tracker over here activated. When he did so, that token there is going to be his Petra token, who gets placed within red of him, and then he gets to move red each time. But right now he moved up and over that wall over there, but he didn't. It was 1 less circle because the first one counts as 1 less, which is pretty good for him. And then he moved up over to there, and then he is going to fire into my armsman over on this side with his rifle. So it's going to be 4 shots, looking for 4s. Getting 1 hit, which I will take with my cover. So he is good. All right, so now I'm going to activate my Grenadier over here. He's going to move up to position here, and then he's going to fire his shotgun into the cutskin over there. He's in long range again, so I'm going to have 4 shots looking for 5s. No relentless on his shotgun. The reason he can shoot him, even though he's got the conceal token there, is because of the surveillance over there. So I'm going to treat it as engaged. So looking for 5s. Nope, not getting anything there. Bwomp bwomp. All right, my opponent has activated his heavy gunner over here, who moved into position. His weapon is, he's doing the Tribalist here, Landaxi Tribalist. So he, when he moved into position, he couldn't move more than 3 because it's cumbersome, but he's fine. He moved into position over there, and then he's going to fire into my Grenadier over here. So he's going to have 5 shots here, looking for 4s. Okay, getting a crit and 2 regular hits there. It's AP 1, so I'm only going to have 2 dice to save here. I'm going to take... what's the damage on this?
Oh, it's 4-4.
4-4. Mm-hmm. All right. Oh, and we did take... it is rending, so he did take one of those rendings, so one of the regular hits becomes another crit there. So I'm going to roll 2 dice here and go for them, looking for 4s. Just getting the 1 regular save, so it's going to be 8 damage, which is exactly enough to incapacitate him, since I gave all of my guys stims, so they all got 1 extra wound, which would put him at 8, but he is incapacitated. My gunner is going to move and dash into position behind the wall, behind the statue over here. Now his bow hunter is going to activate, move up to the window over here, and then fire into my gunner over on this side. So he's going to have 4 dice here, looking for 4s. All right, re-rolling because he's really angry about my guy over there. Okay, so that's going to be all hits here. I don't think there's much I can do. This is 4 or 5 damage, right? Yeah, and it's AP 1. There's nothing I can do about that. So he's only got 4 wounds left, so he is incapacitated. My guy's skull is going to move into position underneath over here. Get into position. Pistolier is going to move and dash into position onto the objective. My Void Jammer is going to activate. He is going to move into position over here, and then he is going to activate, and he is, or he's also going to do interference pulse because you measure from the from my Geist Skull, and I'm going to try to do it into his hound over there. So I roll a d6 and subtract 1 from the enemy. So I roll a d6, adding 1 to the result if the enemy operative is in the friendly Geist Skull operative's line of sight, which he is. So, and on a 3+, so basically on a 2+, I will be minusing 1 from his APL. And with that filth base, he is going to be -1 APL. My opponent's going to move his long sight up over to here, using the bound to get up there and into position. And my last activation is going to activate my leader, who is going to move and dash onto the objective there. And because I've taken away 1 of his APL, I now control it with my guy over there, which is pretty good.
So we're 3-3 instead of 4.
All right, and that's going to be it for the first turning point here. At the end there, we now are both going to get 3 victory points for controlling 3 objectives each because of that little dash move and taking down his APL. And we will now roll off to see who will have initiative going into the second turning point. My opponent rolled a 2 and I rolled a 5, so it will be to the Void Breachers here on turning point number 2. All right, so into the strategy step of the second turning point here. We both gained a CP, putting me at 4, putting my opponent at 2. I then spent 1 CP on close assault, allowing me that if I make a shooting attack within blue or in close combat attack with my friendly operatives, if I retain 2 successful hits, I can retain a missed hit as a successful normal hit as well for that during this turning point. And then we both had objective attack ops to reveal. I revealed eliminate guards. So essentially, I selected objective marker from the center line or within your opponent's territory, then select 1 enemy operative within the circle of it to be the guard for the turning point. If the enemy operative you selected to be the guard for the turning point is incapacitated during this turning point, you score 1 VP. If achieve the first condition in any subsequent turning points, you score 1 VP. So I basically choose a different guard each turning point and have to try to kill him. My opponent has taken Secure Vantage, which has changed now. So essentially, if you control a vantage point that's more than blue from your deployment zone, which both of these we made sure were with out of blue of the deployment zones here, you score 1 VP. And if you do it with a different vantage point, at the end of the game, you score an additional VP. So you no longer have to do the action, which is nice, but you do have to do it on different vantage points, so you have to try to get up there. So hopefully he's hoping to hold that one with that guy at the end of it over there. So that's going to be it for the strategy step. We'll come back to you with a firefight step. All right, so I'm going to activate my gunner with the Meltagun, who's going to move up there. I did choose his leader as my eliminate guards, as the guard I'm trying to eliminate over there. He is now going to move up there. He is going to shoot into him with the Meltagun. I'm going to spend 1 CP on Blitz. So essentially, what happens is I can, when I shoot or make a close combat attack with a friendly operative within red of themselves, which he is within red over there, I can, then I check to see if certain things. If it is the first operative that I have activated this turn, I can retain 1 dice before I roll as a critical hit. I can then, if it's the first operative to perform this action, this turning point, I can take a regular hit. So he's the first one activated, and he is the first one to do this during this this turning point. So I will take a critical hit and a regular hit. I then have 2 other dice to roll here, looking for 4 pluses. But that's 2 1s, so those would be fails. But because of close assault, because I've already retained 2 regular hits, I can retain 1 of these as a regular hit as well. So my opponent's AP 2. So you only have the 1 die, which I don't think you can actually do enough to save him, because he's taking 4 mortal wounds for the critical hit over there.
And I lose rogue. The only thing I do is roll a crit.
Yes, you can try to roll a crit. I don't think it's going to do enough, though. No, so he will be incapacitated, which will score me the 2 VP for Assassinate Target. It will also score me the 1 VP so far for Eliminate Guards, which is pretty good. And my opponent's going to spend a CP for Vengeance on the Kinband to try to kill him off, because that Meltagun running rampant is pretty good. All right, my opponent has activated his Landoxy, the heavy gunner, I'm so sorry, who moved over to that position, is now going to fire into my gunner over here. So he's going to have 4 shots looking for 4s to hit, but he hates me because of that, so he gets to reroll. That's 2 crits and 2 regular. It is AP 1. I'm going to retain 1 regular save. Not because of cover.
It rends too.
Oh, and then it's got rendied, so yeah, so it's going to be 3 crits. So actually, I think I need to roll this. I don't even know if I can. Yeah, no, he's dead. Well done. All right, so for my activation here, I was going to activate the Geist Skull. I did Breach and Clear, so I chose the Geist Skull and my Void Jammer. The Geist Skull activated and used Boost to put himself over here. And now I am going to activate the Void Jammer, who is going to use Detonate, and he is going to blow up and is going to attack all 3 of these guys over here. So what happens is he's got Detonate, which makes those attacks against all of them. I then have shots, so I make an attack into each of them, so it's going to be 4 attacks, looking for 3 pluses to hit, doing 2/3 damage. It's got Detonate, EMP, and Silent, so I can do the Silent even though he is, so he's going to stay over here and cover. I am then going to, the EMP makes it lethal X, where X is their unmodified saves. So their saves are all 5 pluses, so you're going to be lethal 5+ here. So we'll do this, we're just going to go back to front, so we'll do the Bow Hunter first. So it's going to be 4 shots, hitting on 3s, criticals on 5s and 6s. Okay, so it's going to be 1 crit, 2 regular into your guy over there. No AP on this at all.
So I cannot use cover at all.
No cover though.
Okay.
So it's just going to be the 3 dice looking for 5s.
And no rogue.
Does get 1 crit.
Yeah.
So that's gonna make the crit go away. So it's gonna be 4 damage into him over there.
Okay, so he's down to 5.
Down to 5.
Oh no, he's down to 4.
We're down to 4.
Yeah.
We are then gonna go into the stalker over there. Oh no, the tracker.
Okay.
So that's gonna be a crit and 3 regular hits. Makes 1 crit save, so that's still going to be doing 6 damage to you over there.
He's not dead, but he ain't happy.
And then into the cold blood. That is just going to be 2 regular hits. Makes 1 regular save, so he's going to take 2 damage.
You got covered.
All right, so his long sight is going to activate now. He is going to fire into my hatch cutter over here. He is going to spend 1 APL to do 1 AP for long sight action, which turns his gun into silent, so it allows him to shoot it even though he is there. Even though he's got a conceal order, he's also going to allow him to do whatchamacallit. It's going to allow him to do lethal 5+ on this gun that he's shooting here. So here we go. It's going to be looking for 4 shots. Looking for okay. That's going to be 3. That's going to be 9 mortal wounds right off the bat because it's right mortal wound 3. Yeah, mortal wound 3 on 3 crits there. 9 wounds. There's nothing I can do about that. He's only got 8 because of the stims that I've given everyone. Yeah, he did. All right, so now my leader is now going to charge into his Kroot Hound over here. So I'm going to have 4 attacks here, looking for 3s to hit with his powered weapon. It's lethal 5+, so that's going to be 3 crits and a regular hit to me over here.
I'll use my one.
Opponent's going to spend a CP to reroll 1. Okay, into a regular hit over there. We'll come back to you. All right, so I chose to start off by striking with the power weapon with one of my crits there for 6 wounds. My opponent struck me with one of his regular hits over there, and then I struck again with a crit, incapacitating there. That scores me 1 point for Rob and Ransack, since I am not within blue of any other enemy operatives there.
Nice.
All right, so my opponent has charged into me with his cut skin over here. So he is now going to attack into me. He has Vicious Duelist, which means that for every dice that I discard, I will take a mortal wound, which is pretty good. He's also then charged in and then done Savage Assault, which means that he will be able to do a free fight action. And then at the end, if we are both alive, he will be able to fight again with the same weapon here. So my opponent has 4 dice looking for 3s, doing 3/4 damage, but is balanced and lethal 5+. Reroll the 1 for balanced. Not meant to be. So that's going to be 4 hits there, 4 regular hits. I've got 4 dice looking for 3s as well with my power weapon. So I got a crit and a regular, but because of close assault, this one will become a regular hit here. I will take 1 mortal wound for Vicious Duelist. Actually, I'm going to spend a CP to reroll that.
Okay.
Yep, into it's a lethal 5+, so that's going to be 2 crits and 2 regular. So I don't take any mortal wounds, and we'll come back to you. All right, so my opponent struck with his first one, and then I struck with one of my crits doing 6 damage, and that incapacitates his guy there. All right, I activated my Axe Jack over here. He is going to spend his 2 AP on Wade In, which allows him to take a free charge action and then a free fight action. So I charged into his cold blood over here. And then because I am doing both actions, my power weapon, which is the axe that he's carrying there, gives him the ability to have Reap 2, which means that I can do 2 mortal wounds for each crit that I do for each crit that I use. It does 2 mortal wounds because it's Reap 2 into the enemy operative within triangle of either him or the target. So it's going to go into his tracker over there. So I'm going to have 4 dice here looking for 3s. My opponent has 4 dice looking for 3s. 3 dice looking for 3s because of his blade.
Ain't that good?
All right, so it's crit 5+.
I got all mines.
So mine's going to be 2 crits and a regular, and because I've taken 2, because I've had 2 successes because of still having close assault, I get this one into a regular as well. Okay. So we'll come right back. All right, so it's worth noting here that the cold one has a rule called Hardy, which essentially if he is hit with a critical hit that would do critical damage, he can instead just take the normal damage from that strike. So I struck with my crit here, which would normally do 6 damage. He only has 6 wounds left because of the detonate that went off. But because of the hardy, it only does 4 damage to him, leaving him with 2 wounds left. But because I struck with a critical, the Reap did 2 mortal wounds to his tracker, which incapacitated his tracker. My opponent then struck me with one of his regular attacks for 3 damage, and then I struck again with a crit, incapacitating his cold one as well. So it all worked out in the end. All right, my opponent's going to activate his Bow Hunter now. He's going to do Energize, his weapon here, and he's going to fire into my Axe Jack. My Axe Jack is emboldened, so he has a 5-up Feel No Pain. So I rolled a d6 to ignore wounds on it. But still, so he's going to have 4 attacks, 4 dice here with his shots here, looking for 4 pluses. It becomes lethal 5+ because of the yeah, so there's going to be 1 crit and 1 regular over there. It is AP1, so I've got the 2 here, so I do have cover. So I will take 1 save there on my Axe Jack automatically because of cover, and then I will roll 1.
So you beat the crit.
Not going to get it on that one. So the crit does 5 damage to me. So that's going to do 5 damage. So I roll 5 d6s here, looking for 5 pluses to ignore those wounds. Oh, and 3 of them are ignored. So I take 2 damage. I'm going to activate my Surveyor, who's going to do surveillance over here from my cat unit, and placing my surveillance token right down over there. All right, my opponent's going to activate his Pistolier, who is going to do Gunslinger Salvo, which means he can do 2 attacks with his pistols, which is pretty good. He's going to fire into my leader over here. So he's got 4 shots here, looking for 3s, lethal 5+. So that's going to be 2 crits there.
I'm going to balance.
Balance, reroll 1 of those into a hit because it's no, it's 4. It's 4 hit. So I'm going to roll my defense dice here. I'm going to take 1 for cover because I might be able to ignore some of this. Getting a crit, that one's cocked. Into a save, that's just enough because that'll be 2 for crit and 1 for a crit. So he's alive for now because here comes the Gunslinger's second shots. That's going to be good.
I don't need to be
so that's going to be all 4 into him over there. What's the damage on this? 3?
Yeah,
he's only got 3 wounds left, so I don't have enough defense dice to save him, so he's going to be incapacitated, which means I will not get that extra point for Rob and Ransack. All right, so now my Endurant is going to move up here. He is now going to shoot into his Pistolier over there, so I'm going to have 4 shots. Hitting on 3s because he's in short range here. Relentless, so re-rolling everything. Okay, but because I have 2 regular hits and he's within red of me, it has to be within blue. No, not within blue for that. So it's just going to be the 3 hits here. 3 regular hits, no crits there. So now my opponent has 3 dice looking for 5s to save. Getting none of them, so that is going to be 9 damage into him. He will be incapacitated. So now my opponent's activated his warrior over here, who's moved up onto the objective, and now is going to fire into my Voidsman over here. Oh, that's going to be 2 crits and 2 regular hits there.
Good thing you get cover.
I do get cover, which is good, so I've got the 1 regular save in me there. And I do get a crit, but it's just going to ignore 1 regular and 1 crit. What's the damage on this weapon?
You're going to get 3/4. So
3/4, so I'm going to take 7 damage, which would normally incapacitate him, but because of stims, leaves him with 1 wound left. Voidsman over here is going to move and dash into concealed cover over there. Now my opponent's going to overwatch with the Bow Hunter into my Axeman over here. He's going to have 4 shots hitting on 5s because of being overwatched there. It's not that he didn't need it, so he's got those 3 hits there. I've got 1 regular save for cover, and then I've got 2 other saves that I'm going to try to make over here. Getting a crit, which doesn't matter, but it's still a save. What's the damage on this weapon?
It'll be 4 for you, bub.
All right, I'm going to spend a CP to re-roll this. And to a filth base, he is good to go. Woo! And then my last activation is going to be for my cat unit, who's just going to stay where he's at and just pass. So that is the end of turning point number 2. We will now roll off to see who will have initiative going into turning point number 3. 1 and a 3, so it will be to the Kroot here on turning point number 3. All right, so into the third turning point here in the tactical step. My opponent has revealed Courier, which means that he gets a victory point if he has any of his operatives within red of my drop zone. I have chosen his heavy gunner as my guard for the eliminate guards here for my tac op. So that is it. We're not going to spend any CP, so we're both at 2, and we will move on to the whatchamacallit, the thingy with the other thing. into the firefight step. Oh geez, why did that take me so long to remember?
I do have.
All right, so my opponent is going to activate his warrior over here, who is going to move onto the objective and get some cover on this side, and then he is going to shoot into my endurant. So he's going to have 4 shots here, hitting on 4s, getting 3 hits.
That's pretty good.
I am going to have 3 2-up saves on my endurant over there. So that is going to ignore 2 of them. Do I spend a CP? I think I do.
Okay.
Into a save there. So he is going to be good to go. All right, so now my endurant is going to activate. He's going to move over here and shoot into his heavy gunner over there. 4 shots, looking for 3s to hit with Relentless. So that's going to be 2 crits and 2 regular hits into you over there.
So I got my rogue.
Yes, so you can take either 2 regular saves because of rogue, because of the ability that the whatchamacallums, the Kroot has. They got to either take 2 regular saves automatically or take 1 crit save from cover over there. So I've gotten 2 crit hits and 2 regular hits. You're just going to take 1 crit?
That's all I can do.
Is that what you're... So what are you going to do? You're going to take 1 crit? I'm sorry, what are you going to do?
So...
1 second. All right, so he's going to take 2 regular saves and then hope for a crit on this one. Will not get that, so he will just take the 2. He'll just take the 6 damage from the 2 crits. My opponent's going to activate his bow hunter, and he's going to fire into my axe jack over here. He is going to energize his shot, so it does make it lethal 5+. That he's going to be going over here. He is going to do the fused arrow into me, which means that it becomes AP -1. So I'm going to have 2 dice for my saves. So he's going to have 4 dice looking for 4s. Getting 2 crits. So I'm just going to roll these 2 dice hoping to get crits, because otherwise I am dead. I need double fill faces. Nope, don't even get 1. So he is out of action. Then when I activate, I'm going to use Breach and Clear to have my the Void Jammer and my Armsman over here to activate with GA2. So we're going to start with the Void Jammer, who's going to move up over here and shoot into that guy over there. So it's 4 shots, looking for 3s to hit. That's going to be a crit and a regular hit. No cover over there because I'm too close for him to get it. So it's going to be 3 dice. Nope, nothing, no AP. So 3 dice, looking for 5s, getting 1 crit. So he will just take 3 damage. And then when my Voidsman acts, I'm going to do spend 1 CP for Calm Head. So until the end of the battle, he ignores any modifiers to his stuff there. So he's now going to fire into him over there. But he will get cover this time because I'm not within white of him to take it away. So it's going to be 4 shots, looking for 3s though because he's in close range. That's going to be 3 regular hits there. So you're going to take 2 for cover and then roll 1, looking for a 5-up.
And roll, and I got to reroll if I needs it.
I'm not going to get spend a CP to reroll it. Sounds good.
It. Come on, come on, come on, come on.
No, so he will take 3. He will take 3 damage. All right, so my opponent over here is going to activate his heavy gunner. He's going to eat meat, which is one of the equipment you get. So he gets D3 wounds back.
So 1 plus.
So he's going to get 3 back there. Or is it 1 plus D3?
Yes.
Okay, so he's going to get 4 back. So he's going to get back up to 6 wounds, which is good. Away. So he's not wounded.
Now he can do it.
So now he is going to fire into my my endurant over there. So he's going to have
on 4s now.
Yep, hitting on 4s. So 5 attacks, hitting on 4s. That's going to be 2 hits, 1 crit and 1 regular. But that crit, because he took a crit, he can actually take. It becomes 2 crits, right? Because of that, because of the rending. So he's going to have 2 crits. Yep. I'm going to have 2 dice here, looking for. I mean, just looking for fill faces. I guess I could get 2 2-ups and get 1 of them away, but really looking for 2 fill faces. So it's 2 plus saves. Oh, 1 fill face, and I don't have any CP left. Oh, that's killer. But I got the 1 CP, so I only take the, what's the damage? 4 damage. So he's still alive with 4 wounds left. My Surveyor is going to move and dash over here. And now his long shot is going to fire into my Void Jammer over here. He is going to take the long shot action and then shoot into him. So it's going to be 4 shots, looking for lethal 5+, but looking for 3s to hit. So it's going to be 1 crit and 2 regular hits.
Yep.
So that 1 crit is going to do 3 mortal wounds to him over there. So he's already going to take 3 mortal wounds. I then have cover, so I'll take 1 regular save on him over there. and then roll 2 dice. Getting another 1. What's the damage on this? It's 3-3.
No, 3-3.
Yes, 3-3. So it's, it doesn't make a difference. So I'll just ignore the other regular one there, and then take 3. So it's a total of 6 damage. He's still alive though. And then I'm going to pass on my cat unit there. So we are now going to roll off to see who will have initiative going into the 4th and final turning point. I rolled a 5, my opponent rolled a 1, so it will be to the Voidsmen here, the Breachers here. So we'll come back to you with that.
I'm telegraphing.
All right, so into the strategy step here of the 4th turning point. We both gained a CP. My opponent then spent his on Bound to allow him to ignore that first circle when climbing and such. We are then, I did not spend anything. No, actually, no, I'm not going to spend anything. So we are now going to move off and move into the firefight step. My first activation will be with my Endurant, moving and then firing into his Dubra over there. So it's going to be 4 shots with his Relentless shotgun here. So looking for 3s to hit. Relentless. Okay, so it's going to be all hits here. 2 crits and 2 regulars.
No AP.
No AP on here, and not having cover there. So looking for 5 ups. Does get a crit and a regular. So you will be taking 6 damage, which unfortunately is exactly what he needed to be eliminated, which will give me my second point for eliminate guards. All right, so his Kroot warrior over here is going to activate, and he's going to fire into my Void Jammer over here. So he's going to have 4 shots here, hitting on. He is wounded, 5. So he's going to be hitting on 5s. Getting a crit.
Yep.
So I've got 3 saves looking for here, looking for 4s. No, not getting enough, so he will be dead. I'm actually going to spend my CP to try to save him here. Don't get the save there. He is out. So now my Voidsman is going to move up over here, activate, move up over here, and shoot into his warrior. I've got 4 shots here, looking for 3s, I believe it was. Yes, looking for 3s because I'm in short range. I'm in close range. Okay, so that's going to be 4 hits there. But they're all regular hits, which means they're only doing 1 damage. So let's see your saves. 5 ups. No, he will not save it, so he will be out of action. All right, so now his bow hunter is going to move into position over here. Is able to go with Bound up and over, and then he is going to fire into my Voidsman over here.
Can't energize.
So can't energize, so it's going to be hitting on 4s.
Oh,
that's going to be
that.
1 crit and 2 regular hits.
Yep.
I've got 1 regular save from cover, AP1. Oh, then I don't think there's anything I can do because I can't make 3 saves with 2 dice. So he is going to be out of action. Yeah. Moved and dashed my my Surveyor over here. My opponent dropped down onto the objective there to hold that. All right, and then my last action will be to pass with my Cat unit over here. And at the end of the game, we have a score of 17-12 to the Breachers, a victory for the Imperial Navy. Man, that was a bloody, bloody game, but a ton of fun. There are operatives lying dead all over the place. I think the rest of the Kroot are going to lick their wounds and take whatever they could grab and then head back and reevaluate their next strike into the Imperial forces here as the Voidsmen will, as the Breachers will try to reestablish themselves. But a ton of fun. It was really cool to use the critical ops, tac ops. The new secondaries or the new tac ops are a ton of fun. I really like the ability to just set up a quick game by just flipping some cards and just being able to go from there, putting up the terrain. And it was a ton of fun to be able to play. And it was a lot of fun just playing out here. And it's fun to get back into regular ones because I've been doing a lot of Into the Dark. So it's fun to have be out in the open again for a bit. So I hope you guys have all enjoyed this. I certainly have. I have been Phil, the Glacial Geek. As always, my opponent's been Neil. And until next time, stay safe and have fun.